Listen, I'm easy to find. And then they can kiss my ass.
Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 10, season 8 of Big Nate Sports Talk. Hope you're all well. Hope you had a great weekend so far. In this episode, we are going to break down the Western Conference Finals, as that is over in 5. Not surprised in the Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. I called it. We're going to a Game 7. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you. Before I do that, I would like to take this opportunity and get something off my chest. I should have said it in the previous video, and I do apologize. Please forgive me. Today marks 100 days that Brittany Griner has been wrongfully detained in Russia. If you check in the description below, there's a petition that's now well over 200,000 signatures to spread the words and bring her home safely. Today, after the game, the Washington Mystics, even though we lost to the Connecticut Sun, Kennedy Burke and Elizabeth Williams were transparent. They didn't want to talk basketball. They wanted to specifically talk about Brittany Griner, and which I thought was important. I felt like it was really necessary, and there's a lot to see that players around the league, they have rallied around the situation. I do proclaim that she will be home soon, but I do think it's our responsibility to use our platforms, no matter the size, to bring awareness to things like this, what's happened around us, whether it's Buffalo or Uvalde, Texas. I definitely think it's important to bring awareness to these things. I'm not going to read the whole statement from the women's basketball, the WNBA Players Association. Pretty much just to paraphrase it, they called on athletes, others in other sports, football, basketball, the NBA, hockey, all across the global community. And then also, again, those that are in the media, no matter how big or small your platform is. And then, just people in general. They're very, I give them their flowers and bringing the attention to this. Elizabeth Williams said it. She's played overseas. She talked about her experience. She felt like I think she just wants her to come home. But there was something that I found very, very I was surprised, where she said she thinks there's players that are still going to go overseas, which I can't make that assumption. For someone who I've taken this on numerous occasions, I spoke on as a very pro player, that I am not a fan of them going overseas. I have spoken highly on that. But at the end of the day, when you have a league where your commissioner is making statements along the lines of, well, they do it for fun, when it really is not. I've said it from jump that some of the 144 women are mothers, they're providers, they're putting food on families' tables, all that. And, if this was roles reversed, none of that would have happened. There was a question like that on the Zoom call, and I could tell by body, I could tell that they really they wanted to answer it, but I didn't think they really wanted to take away from what their main focus was. It was just to bring awareness that it's been 100 days. They challenged us to, call our representatives, sign the petition, just bring awareness to her situation, and then just again have these kind of conversations. So, Brittany Griner is always in my prayers. I do hope that she does return home safely. With that being said, Braves fan, what's going on, man? I do want to move on into basketball. So the Western Conference Finals, it is time to put the horse in the barn as the Dallas Mavericks lost in 5 to the Golden State Warriors. The final score, 120. Where's my clip? 110.
What was that? What the hell was that? I'm sorry the H words and the D words aren't appropriate over the airways, but it's going to be today. I don't know how much more of this I can take. How in God's name?
Golden State is heading back to the NBA Finals for the 6th time in 8 years. Clip.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
There was no way Dallas was going to win the game. It just wasn't happening. I mean, there's just no answers. That's the best way I could put it. Luka did the best he could, honestly, truthfully. Golden State had strength in numbers, and they had no answers defensively. I mean, Klay Thompson, he's on a mission to from where he was. He hasn't played practically in 2 years. He's back. Otto Porter Jr. didn't play. Iguodala didn't play. Well, Otto Porter has dealt with a foot injury, and Gary Payton II is supposed to be reevaluated. Luka, I'll go back to him. The first few minutes of the game, took 14 shots, only made 2 of them. That's just simply not going to win basketball games. They were down as 25 points, if I remember seeing that correctly. I mean, they double teamed him in the first quarter. Guys were just not moving. Guys off the ball. The ball movement off ball was lethargic to look at. They had little to no ball handling. They just couldn't do anything. That really hurt them. From the same team I saw that against Phoenix, Utah, I didn't see that. I think Golden State's defense kind of just wore out Luka, took him out the game early, and they really need. I'll get into that in a minute. I'm gonna save that. Another biggest take was Klay Thompson. He really went out there and balled. I mean, 32 points, made 8 threes. I mean, when it counted, he was just a torch, and to really see where he's been at from 2019 till now, I think that had to be one of his best postseason games. I do. And now he's going to potentially get his 4th ring. Now, if you're Dallas, you got an interesting offseason. So I did like Jason Kidd's comments regarding he kind of took a stab at Luka. Pretty much he needs to get in shape. But I'm looking at some other things. So one guy that comes on top of my mind that will be a free agent this upcoming offseason is Jalen Brunson. I do think that somebody or the Dallas Mavericks will pay him if Mark Cuban's willing to go to where they go over the luxury tax. As I stated, I didn't like the Jason Kidd comments about Luka getting in shape. I kind of feel like he played well. They need some upgrading, particularly, for example, on the front court. Like Dwight Powell and Maxi Kluber, they're okay, but they need some upgrades.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous.
I mean, let me just run you down some examples. Kevon Looney, okay, all you need to know is that he outperformed them when it came to rebounding. Golden State averaged almost 14 second chance points in the series. That should let you know how those two did a horrible on the defensive job they did against Kevon Looney. I mean, it's not. They didn't. I mean, they couldn't. It wasn't just limiting the Golden State's shots at the rim. It's just they just got out rebounded, and I really do think that they're going to have to figure that out in the offseason. I don't know who that would be. There's a lot of options out there. I mean, one comes to mind, JaVale McGee. I can't see Dallas making a trade. I mean, unless they really wanted to. If they really wanted to get serious, they can. I'm just going to say random name, Rudy Gobert. But that's one thing they're going to have to really fix is the front court. And then, I look at Luka a little bit. Luka, he did okay. At the start of the season, I get it. He was not in basketball shape. And I think a lot of people are going to say he needs to get in condition. But I think it's just they need to just really get a better roster around him. They have to improve it. He will be playing in the Euro games. So there is some things he does have to work on. I mean, if you paid attention, I mean, as the season progressed, he got better. And I think, he just got better. Things happen. And then next point is Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, is he willing to pay the luxury tax? Fun fact, he has not done that since 2011, I want to say. Who knows? I don't know what that'll look like. And then like this, they didn't have Tim Hardaway Jr., so you got to think about him coming back healthy as a key. And then, like I said, Jalen Brunson's another one. I mean, you've got Phineas Smith, Reggie Bullock, but I don't think he'd add another win. I think let's see what Tim Hardaway Jr. looks like coming back healthy. So I think that's what Dallas has to focus on in the offseason. They got some serious things to work on in the offseason. I do believe that. And that's key. And I want to also keep this in mind. He's 23. So I mean, we're just starting to see, what Luka is and what he can be. It's just what the Dallas Mavericks are going to do around him. I think that's the key. And I believe they'll do that. Now, let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is arguably probably been the most interesting series to watch. It's been enjoyed. It's actually been good basketball. In some ways, it's been good basketball. There's been moments where it's been crappy basketball. But I will say that if I had to give a title on this series, availability. That is the best way. That's the best title I could give this series. I mean, just up and down. You look at the Celtics and the Heat injuries. Tatum had a stinger in his shoulder. Kyle Lowry didn't come back to game 2. Marcus Smart was out game 1 with his knee injury. Al Horford, health and safety protocols. I mean, Jimmy Butler, I think, is dealing with a leg injury. I mean, it's just been a lot. Tyler Hero, I think he has a groin injury, I want to say. So I mean, they've both teams have been dealing with a lot of injuries, but the resiliency for both squads, you have to give them both credit. But if I had to put a title, like I said, on this series, it is simply availability. Now, what I saw in Game 6, and I knew it was over. I knew Miami was going to win the game. The Celtics are just shooting themselves in the foot. They've really got to learn how to not turn the ball over. I saw a lot of turnovers that were dumb, and it gave Miami easy buckets. Foul trouble, Grant Williams and Al Horford. That, to me, I thought that really made a difference. I just didn't see the killer instinct. Like, I remember last season with the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Example, Charles Barkley would get on the Bucks for playing dumb. Like, that's the Boston Celtics. They just play. At times they're just dumber than rocks, and they don't really have they don't have a killer instinct. Like, I think Jason Tatum can be that guy, but you're at home. You had an opportunity to win that. You had an opportunity to close out the Heat. Jimmy Butler, arguably, ladies and gentlemen, was their best player. I mean, was the best player on the floor out there. Let's just keep it a buck. I mean, Jimmy Butler, he carried that Heat team almost a 50-piece. I mean, no answers from him on the defensive side. If they had him a one-on-one, they were doubling. Just had no answers. And I looked at this stat going into Game 6. Jason Tatum, I kid you not, is actually leading both squads in turnovers. That is ridiculous. So far for the whole series. And if you do the math, I think it was 28, 29 turnovers just in 6 games. Like, I'm also looking at the fact of there's been poor ball handling and just down the stretch where they're mentally, they're just not there. I mean, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Pritchard, they were just nowhere to be found.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
I mean, I do feel like the Boston Celtics will win tomorrow. But it comes down to a couple things. They got to come out aggressive early. Like, fun fact, I believe that there's 6-2 because randomly, it's weird. Boston's a better road team this whole series. I'm hoping I see the same Celtic team that beat the Bucks. That's what I want to see. I don't know if I'm going to get that. I mean, fun fact, so I believe No one's beaten Miami 3 times on their home court. See what happens tomorrow. The last time we saw this type of series that involved the Miami Heat was Kyle Lowry. He was with Toronto. And I believe he dropped 35. And then Oladipo, and when he was in Indy, going against Cleveland. So I had to do this. I pulled this up. So in Game 7, I have this in my notes. So the Boston Celtics are 25-9, and the Miami Heat are 6-4. So we'll see what happens. But I just think that it's going to come down to who fires the first salvo. Boston needs to come out early, come out aggressive early. They're going to have to make the Boston Celtics work. It's going to be both. I can see by halftime, I can see it being a close game. I'm going to say I'm pulling for the Boston Celtics. My mind saying the Boston Celtics, with my heart saying the Miami Heat. I do think the Celtics can do it. I think they can pull it off. This is their moment to shine. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They've got all the tools to get there. I think they can do it. And just for the record, Draymond Green did not break any code. They asked him what team he would like to see, and he said Boston. There's no code that was broke there. I don't understand that one. But I'm going to say tomorrow, the Boston Celtics will beat the Miami Heat 110-105.
Guaranteed.
So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who you think is going to win Game 7? Ladies and gentlemen, be tuned in for future episodes. Like I said, I got a baseball video that I will do tomorrow. The Orioles, they have been on a tear. I will need to also follow up on some other teams throughout the league. I also want to talk about the Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson dust up. I definitely want to talk about that, so be tuned in for that tomorrow. Also, to NFL OTAs, voluntary OTAs have started, so be tuned in for those videos. But until then, have a good night. Again, please like, comment, subscribe. Also, share the video. These videos is much appreciated. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, subscribe, check me out. I do appreciate the support that I've been getting on the channel and appreciate the new subs. I do appreciate y'all. But this is Nathan signing out.
Listen, I'm easy to find.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.
And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.